What is up, guys? Today we're doing something a little different to the usual. The daily is finally getting a bit of love. I bought myself a set of sprockets, a chain, and a chain breaker tool. Now the current chain and sprockets aren't in terrible condition, but this is something I've always been curious about, so I've decided to go up 2 teeth in the rear. What this means is the bike is going to have a little more pep in its step. It's going to be funner to ride around on, but it will reduce its top speed, reduce its fuel efficiency, and overall make it less of a long distance and less of a dailyable machine. I got stuck on getting that massive nut off. It's quite difficult because it's attached pretty much directly to the engine, and I think I need a bit more leverage than a basic breaker bar. So we're going to take a brief intermission, head to the winery. I'm going to treat my family to lunch and some drinks, and once we're refreshed, reset, we're going to come back and give this another shot. Worst comes to worst, if the breaker bar doesn't work, I'm going to have to bust out the air compressor and the air gun. I spent so much money on that air compressor and barely used it, but it does help for moments like these, knowing that I have that as a backup. Screw it, breaker bar not working. To my absolute shock and horror, that did not work. So I'm going to try this. As you can see, there's a bit of leverage there. Holy shit. That was insane. We finally got the nut off, but man, did it require some persistence. We used the entirety of that breaker bar plus plenty of extra torque. That didn't work. We tried to lock the wheel and the chain and the sprocket with a piece of wood, and this is what my breaker bar efforts did to that piece of wood. I think it would have been nearly impossible without at least this air tool and that air compressor, so. As you can see, I've taken the rear set off, and that is so that I can remove the chain without cutting it. Still slow as fuck though. Still a Ninja 400. Nothing compared to the CBR 650R, but it's definitely got a little more pep in its step. You know it's had a sprocket change because I'm sitting at the speed I usually sit at, which is 100 to 110 indicated. Look at where it is sitting on the rev counter. We're nearly at 7,000, whereas previously it was, you know, it would chill at around 5,000. It's doing no favors for the freeway fuel efficiency, or fuel efficiency in general, but that's fine. Yes, this is my daily, but I don't take it on the freeway a lot. If I did, I would not have done this. But it does have a bit more go to it, a little bit, like marginally. I think the problem is I also ride a CBR 650R, which is much faster than this bike, and therefore my expectation of speed is much higher. I think this mod would be providing much more of a pronounced difference if I didn't have a CBR 650R at home. But yeah, it's got a bit more pep to it, you know. And we've been on the freeway for a couple of minutes and the chain hasn't come off yet. So hopefully I've done something right. As seems to be the case, when I do anything on a bike or a car, it takes twice, if not 3 times as long as it should. But I'm fine with that. I'm not a mechanic, and I'm doing all of this for the first time myself, learning as I go, making many mistakes.
Yeah, goddamn, this thing is sitting way too high on the rev limit. If this is a bike you daily on the freeway quite often, I do not recommend going up 2 teeth in the back. My commute to work usually doesn't take me above 80k an hour, and when you're riding during peak hour, you don't often get to the speed limit anyway. So thanks to the power of editing, that whole thing would have looked really smooth and easy. But what ended up happening was I broke the master link while trying to rivet it to the chain. I ended up having to leave my bike behind, like it was grounded, I couldn't ride it, the chain was off, and I didn't want to have to put the old stuff back on. I had to go home with my head hanging in shame, and I did some more research, and I realized it's because the chain actually came with solid tip links, whereas the tool I had bought was designed for hollow tip points, and like, that is not something I would have known anything about. Like, I just bought a chain tool and a chain and a set of sprockets from the same website, and I did go for the cheapest chain tool. I bought a decent one. It wasn't just like the $50 super cheap auto ones. I looked up how much the right tool would have cost me, and it would have been upwards of $300, because you can buy like a specific brand, and then you have to buy an attachment called a quad stake attachment, which is actually how you rivet solid tip links. So yeah, I was definitely not going to do that. I ended up calling my mechanic, and he was like, you can just get a hollow tip link even if you've got a solid tip chain. Oh man, it's starting to rain. How fun. It's actually like chill everywhere else, as you can see, and then there's a rain cloud directly above me, just fucking pissing. Oh my god. What are the chances? Oh, god damn it, man. I don't mind riding in a bit of rain, but not when I'm not expecting it. This just this came out of nowhere. Anyway, so that's what happened with the chain. A bit of a disaster. Yeah, came back the next day and got the job done. I was so nervous while riveting the master link, but I'm pretty sure I got it done correctly in the end. This bike it's a bit zippier, that's for sure. Like, usually I have to downshift, but I just twist the wrist and it kind of goes. Okay, I get this, I get it now. That's sick. Oh fuck, I see red and blue lights. I hope that's not for me, because I did just give it a bit of a squirt there.
And there you have it, folks. That's what a chain and sprocket replacement's like on a Ninja 400. I made a whole bunch of mistakes along the way, one of which was actually pretty serious and was not mentioned in this video because I'm saving it for the next one. But we got there in the end. The bike's awesome, it rides really well, and overall I would say it was a success. Now, despite the many screw-ups I made along the way, I still am glad that I chose to do this myself, because I take great satisfaction and fulfillment in doing so. But if you're not that kind of person, then definitely save yourself the time, the money, and the headaches by taking it to a qualified mechanic. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you on the next one.
You say you got them guns, but I've never seen you bang. You say you got them drugs, but I've never seen